Ladies and gentlemen, do you guys run high sense? And when I mean high sense, is basically anything maybe above like 13, 14, anything above that, I would probably start considering high sense. Well, if you do, I'm gonna tell you why this is probably affecting your accuracy big time. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple reasons why I believe it's affecting your accuracy, but this first one that I'm gonna give you guys is the most important one. So now let's just break down, why would we use high sense, right? What does that allow you to do? Well, that allows you basically, if somebody's shooting behind you, you quickly turn around and beam the guy. If somebody is, let's say, I don't know, shooting it from a place, it's basically when they're shooting at you from a place that you can't see, it allows you to quickly turn around and get that target, all right? Because really, if he's in front of your screen and you see the guy, high sense isn't really helping you at all. Because I mean, if you have 9.9 or if your ADS sensitivity is pretty high, you can get to the target, right? So it's the problem is not when they're in front of you. It would usually help you when they're, where they're a place where they can't see you. So now let's just think about it. I've talked about this method when I talked about my perks, but just think about what do you do more in Warzone, right? In the whole of this. So are more people shooting at you? Like, do you see them face to face and you're fighting against them? Or most of the time, do you have to 360 and aim at this random location where first of all, you don't exactly know where he is, right? You're just getting shot from the back or whoever it is you can't see. And then you have to locate this guy and try to beam him. Is that most of the time what's happening, or are you shooting somebody in front of you? Well, my experience, I think I'm shooting most of the time at somebody that's in front of me, right? I mean, most of the time. And I mean, this also goes down to the fact that when you are going through corridors and clearing out places, it's called pre-aiming. So the way that you prevent from people shooting you from the back is you pre-aim doors, right? So you pre-aim a door, you pre-aim a window, and pre-aiming is obviously pre-aiming a place where an enemy is more than likely to be. Now, if you are good at pre-aiming, you don't need this high sensitivity stuff. So now, obviously, in my opinion, I prefer to have, again, I'm going to talk about low sense in another video, but I run 9.9, which I believe is perfectly in the middle. But I prefer to have a sensitivity in which, allows me to do some moves here and there. But most importantly, if I see someone dead on, I do not potato. Obviously, I potato sometimes, right? Nobody's perfect. But what I'm trying to say here is that I feel that my sensitivity should be geared more at fully hitting every single shot when somebody is right in front of me. Because I'm gonna go to, I like to make analogies, right? Try to make this into the real world, and I think this is where it perfectly fits. So let's say you wanna buy a car, right? You live in the city. Now, if you buy a Lambo, right, it's gonna look cool, right? It's gonna look nasty, right? You got this nice Lambo, you can go over 250 miles per hour, right? Or whatever it is, and it looks nice, right? But what are the problems with this? Well, one of them is, first, you're probably not gonna reach the max speed of a Lambo in the city, first of all. Second of all, you got a lot of parts that are more expensive, and usually everything is just more expensive, like insurance and all that. But now, if you buy a decent car that just fits your needs, well, you're really not gonna have any issues with it. But obviously, the Lambo looks a lot cooler. And I believe sensitivity kind of works like this in a way. The more common one is usually running a lower sensitivity. It's gonna get the job done and you're gonna hit a lot more people, right? Same, but if you were in higher sensitivity, it's kind of like the Lambo. It looks cool, right? I mean, you join this guy's stream and he's moving left and right, up and down, and he's moving like a crazy guy on coke. You're like, oh my God, goddamn, this guy thinks he's the pro, right? But same thing as where things are more expensive with the Lambo, things are more expensive with high sensitivity. And by expensive, I mean your aim. Because you cannot say, oh, but I aim so good with high sensitivity. At the end, you will aim better with low sensitivity. And there's just a simple explanation for that. And that is, when you got high sensitivity, if you move just a little tiny bit more to the left, you're gonna miss. With lower sensitivity, you have a bigger margin of error, right? Because your aim doesn't move that fast. Now, let me just kind of show you something where really 9.9 sensitivity, again, I'm not talking about extremely low sensitivity, that would be in a lot of video, but 9.9 sensitivity isn't really that much slower when it comes to like really turning around because somebody's about to beam you from the back. And let me show you why. So this is, I'm gonna bump this up, right, to let's say something like 17, right? 16, let's go 16, all right? 17, 17, right? Now 20, and let's say somebody's shooting from behind, right? And you turn around like that. Obviously, like, look at this. This is just, I think this is way too fast. First of all, if you bump it up, like let's say you want to maximize the speed and you go all the way to the left, this just, I mean, in half a second, you do like a 360, right? It's not even funny. So, I mean, most of the time when you're going to be aiming, you're barely going to be touching your analog stick, right? You're not even going to be utilizing its full potential, kind of like with the car. Because, I mean, most of the time, you don't need to spin left like this. I mean, unless you're trying to jump off a building and 360 somebody. So, again, if somebody's shooting me from behind, this is kind of what it looks like, right? And I'm trying to go as fast as I can, right? Like, just 180ing somebody. Now, look at this. If I turn to 9-9, and right, I'm running, and somebody just shoots at me, I mean, look at that. It's not really like, oh my God, you know, like, you don't even have a chance. First of all, if somebody's shooting you from behind and he potatoes, you still got chance with 9-9. Like, it's not really like, oh, it's significantly slower, but this is definitely a lot easier to control. And I'm using my full range of motion when it comes to my analog stick. And again, most of the times when you're shooting at somebody in front of you, if you have 17-17, you're barely going to be touching the analog stick. So why use 17-17 or high sensitivity when you're almost never going to be using the maximum potential of that? Honestly, I prefer to have the sensitivity, in my opinion, on something that I'm going to be using most of the time, which is shooting people in front of me and making sure I hit those shots. But again, if you believe that most of the people and most of your gunfights are you turning around, drop shotting, and again, most of your fights, right? I know this happens fairly often, right? It's, you know, it does happen fairly often where somebody just comes up behind you and starts shooting at you. But I'm talking about most of the time. If most of the time those are your fights where you always got a 360, and again, I just showed you here that it's doable with 9-9, then go ahead and keep your 17-17. But in my opinion, I do believe that landing your shots in something that's in front of you and playing with a good sensitivity that is in the middle, that is the way to go. Because again, I'm not telling you here to play 4-4, right? My sensitivity is 9-9. I do believe there's got to be a good middle ground between all this. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what I think about sensitivity. But let me know if you guys think differently and why. Let me know down below in the comment section. If you did enjoy this video, smash that like button. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you all in the next one.